Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going over the 5 offlaners that I recommend trying in this upcoming patch, or the current patch, I don't know what I'm saying, 7.37D. Let's go over the 5 best offlaners, and I don't want to really just make this list based on the average pub win rate. I think a lot of the times I get biased to do so because I want to recommend heroes that I think you guys are going to win on. And the reality is it kind of depends on your bracket, it depends on your skill level, and it depends on what the people around you are doing. Now, that being said, let's get into the 5 heroes that I would recommend trying in the offlane in patch 7.37D. On top of that, go sign up to the Game League website, guys. I'm posting new content over there almost every day, and I'll see you there. Now let's start it off with number 5, Enigma. Enigma tends to be a good pub hero mainly because it scales into the late game. Currently, Enigma has a 50% win rate on Dota buff, which doesn't put it at the highest of win rates at all. However, it is 50, and on Pro Tracker, it's much higher at 55. This tends to be one of the highest winner heroes in average pubs. Now, why is that? There's a couple of reasons. As I said, it scales into the late game. This is good across all brackets. It's a very good laner, has few losing matchups. Notably, Gyro in the meta right now, you gotta be careful about that one. Bristleback can be a little tough. Other than that, most are playable, if not heavy winning for Enigma. And the third reason I'd say is this is a hero that a lot of top players love to last pick in pubs. It's a very dirty last pick. For instance, if you pick Enigma into something like Spectre or Slark or Ursa, these matchups are utterly unplayable for these heroes. Any decent Enigma, and I mean decent, will shart on the lane. And so yeah, this is one of those heroes that I think is really good right now for those reasons, and because it's one of the best vessel buyers in the game. You guys know how much I think this is a powerful pub item right now after the nerf of bracers. It's one of the best HP items you can replace bracers with, and it's also buffed heavily, 10% more healing reduction, as well as getting charges when you die, regardless of how many charges you have. And so Enigma is one of the best skirmishing heroes in the game. It's a hero that wants to play very fast-paced with early items that it buys after winning the lane. So what is the build I recommend? I think there's a couple different builds you can go. So the main thing that almost every single Enigma does is they go drums first. There's a few exceptions. I'm seeing a couple vessel builds here, but I think the best build in the game right now on Enigma is going drums, well, tranquils into drums, then vessel, and then from there's a lot of different options. You can go blink into BKB, you can go Aether Lens into shard. The reason why Aether Lens into shard can be good is it increases the cast range of your vessel, it increases the cast range of your stun, and then the shard plus vessel is like a nasty poking tool. If you don't know what Enigma shard is, it increases the duration of each stun, and it makes an Eidolon summon. So it's basically this really annoying stun that puts these Eidolons on people. You apply a vessel on top, and for the majority of heroes, it's like half of their health, if not more, especially when you combine it with Midnight Pulse. So Enigma is one of the best poking heroes in the game. The other thing that you can do on this hero is you can go drums into pipe if the enemy team has a lot of magic damage and you just want to be tanky, or you can go drums into crimson. Also, what a lot of Enigmas do is they go all 3. So if you want to scale hyper into the late game, I think the best way to do it is drums, vessel, blink, BKB. It's probably the safest build you can go. That's high tempo as well as scaling. In terms of facet, I think the better facet generally is Event Horizon. It makes it where people get movement speed slow when they face away from you. Splitting Image is kind of cool. It makes it where you spawn Eidolons when you receive damage. And you can pair this with drums gives HP, vessel gives HP. You can also buy Bracer and a wand, and that can give you HP, and you can kind of like be this tank that summons Eidolons. But in general, I think the slow is way too powerful, and it helps you kill people with Eidolons. All right, getting into number 4, we have Visage. I even think maybe he's number 3, but I definitely think this is one of the best heroes in Dota right now. And it's such a nasty pub hero, so it's surprising to me that it's lower win rate. I think the reason why is it's a little hard to play, but Visage tends to be really bad win rate. This is the highest Visage has almost ever been in Dota history, and to me that's very telling. Like, it's a difficult hero that not a lot of people play, and it's 52% win rate on Dota buff. On Pro Tracker, it's also 52% win rate, and it mainly just comes down to death toll. Death toll is just broken, guys. There's no other way to put it. You can revolve entire drafts around death toll, and you'll see that pro teams literally do that. I mean, if you watched Liquid at TI, they would pick Visage, or they would pick heroes around Visage. Their carry would be Nature's Prophet. Their supports would be stunners, right? All you need is high tempo and stunners. And then even if a fight goes 2 for 2, if Visage participated in those 2 kills, you're up 400 gold. 400 gold! That's a full another kill! Like, Death Toll, if you don't know what it is, it makes it where you get gold on Soul Assumption kills. They did just kind of nerf it, where if the Soul Assumption doesn't touch the person before they die, you won't get the gold. So if it's midair, you used to get it. I didn't even know that, but they took that out. So yeah, you got to be a little careful about that. It's just broken. So what do you buy on this hero? How do you make it work? There's a couple of different builds, but the most common is Null Talisman into Bracer into Wand. I think it's really good to just stat up. You want to fight to the death with your W in the lane. After that, you buy Drums. Some people will buy Boots into Drums. If they think the lane is really hard, they'll pick up Boots first. If the lane is a bit easier, it's higher pressure, you can go Drums. So Drums, Boots, Boots, Drums. Obviously depends. Then you just buy Auras. I think Pipe tends to be the best early game item in the game, so I recommend buying Pipe. I actually think Vessel is extremely legit on this hero, as it's just another high tempo item on a hero that wants to constantly fight to the death. It makes a lot of sense. So Vessel, Pipe, Crimson. Some people go Vlad's. I personally don't like Vlad's. I think it's the worst of the items. The reason why is I believe the goal of Visage should be to stay alive. Just need to stay alive. Why? You just want to get those early kills. So you're pumping out soul assumptions and getting that death pull going. Then from there, really the level 15 talent is a big standout for me. What you do is every time you cast soul assumption, it hits 3 targets. Instead of 1, it hits 3. This talent got buffed. It used to be 2. Now it's 3. And so just by staying alive, so you just spam auras, spam HP, just by staying alive, you pump damage. You buy your shard and you use the birds to stun. You don't even try to deal damage with the birds 9 out of 10 times. You just use the birds to stun. So you're a stunner, you have auras, and then you pump out heavy nukes on a 4-second cooldown that hit 3 targets. And these nukes give gold, like, because all of them have the chance of giving you death toll. So you can see why this hero is good. It's really broken in pubs. I think it's even better than the win rate shows. Learn how to stun with the birds. Buy auras, you're chilling. Next up, we have Beastmaster. I think Beastmaster is much harder than Visage, so I probably should have switched to 2 on the order here. But yeah, why is Beast good? I'm a big believer in the Wild Hunt. Now, I do believe this is not a great hero for average pubs, as it doesn't scale the best, and typically easy to play, and scaling is the name of the game for the typical player. So, if you don't want to put a lot of time into a hero, I wouldn't pick Beast, I would pick Visage. If you're looking for a unit hero that you want to give a go, I wouldn't pick, as I said, Beast. I wouldn't even necessarily pick Enigma, I would pick Visage. But if you really want to put time into a hero, I think Beast is a nasty Dominator right now. Maybe that's a pun, because he buys Helm of the Dominator. But yeah, why is this hero good? I mean, this facet, guys, if you don't know what it is, when you have Inner Beast maxed out, it gives 6 attack speed per unit. This works particularly well with the Troll Creep because you summon skeletons. So each of those skeletons gives 6 attack speed to you and your units. It doesn't work on allies, unfortunately. I just learned that. It only works on you and your units. But if you have a Troll Creep and you summon 6 skeletons, because the duration is 35 seconds, the cooldown is 20, so you can have 6, you can be giving 100 attack speed with Inner Beast. 100. I think I was giving 112. I tested in the bot lobby. 112. And you insta-kill buildings, you insta-kill Roche, and if you catch a support or some ranged hero alone, they get removed from the game. It is ridiculous. You farm Ancients at level 7 faster than any other hero in the game. It is nuts fast. You take buildings faster. The only thing is your units kind of die. So here's what you do. You go Helm 1, you skip Helm 2, you go straight Pipe. The Pipe keeps the units alive from nukes in the early game, and it keeps, most importantly, the skeletons alive from nukes in the early game. I even think you shouldn't even use the skeletons unless you're not frontlining yet. You don't want to send them in first. They die way too easily. So yeah, basically the idea here is you buy a bunch of auras. You can go Blink BKB to just be a stunner. They also just buff the stun, which helped this build. They also nerfed the Ags, which made that build a bit worse. And yeah, you're kind of just a team player. Auras are still the name of the game, even after all of the nerfs. I do believe that for the most part. So give them a shot. All right, coming to number 2, we have Bristleback, but I don't actually like the way a lot of people play him. I know I'm going to be a little boring here and tell you to buy auras again and just be tanky, but hear me out. I'm going to suggest 2 builds. So a lot of people go Ags. Now, I think Ags Bristle is okay. It lets you flash farm. It gives you stacks of Warpath, and I think those are the 2 main arguments for Ags. When you get the timing, it really lets you to continue to push out waves and kill Ancients. That is nice. And as I was saying, it gives you that 5 stacks of Warpath, which does make a big difference. It can be hard to get to max stacks without Axe. So that is the argument for Axe. However, I think my favorite build on Bristle right now is Vanguard first or Blade Mail with Bracers. I was talking to my friend Albino over a call about this, and he went 2 Bracers and Blade Mail in a good Blade Mail game into Shard. And I'm a big believer in this idea because Bristle Shard to me is one of the best abilities in the game. If you don't know what it is, it's called Hairball. It's a 13-second cooldown, only 40 mana. 1,000 cast range. So the cast range is crazy. The cooldown is ridiculously low. It used to be 10 seconds back in the day. Man, that Bristleback was fun when the Ags was 7 quills and the hairball was like even more broken. Sheesh, that was fun. But this is more of a tank bristle. It's 2 goo stacks. It used to be 2 quill stacks, 1 goo stack. Now it's 2 goo stacks. Why is this OP? Because you take it with the Snot Rocket facet. So you take Snot Rocket, which increases the viscous nasal goo armor loss. You don't even have to max the goo for this to be good. You can still max your E. You can go either. Both are really good in my opinion. So you can go either one. And then you're applying these goos immediately. 1 stack of goo, just for reference, is 4 armor loss per stack and 3 base armor loss. So it's 11 armor loss. 11! This shard is 11 AoE armor reduction. Guys, Assault Cuirass is -5. Hairball is -11 with the facet. Okay, like, that is crazy. Now, to be fair, without the facet, it's already -9, which is why I think this build with Seeing Red is also viable. You can definitely do that. But with Snot Rocket, the laning stage is also better because you have this level 1 goo where typically goo is minus 3.5 at level 1. With the Snot Rocket facet, it's minus 4.5. So it really becomes even more powerful. It's a lane dominating ability, and that's what people are doing. So yeah, here's the build. Bracer, Bracer, Mana Boots. I think you maybe can get away with something like Treads, Soul Ring Vanguard, and just being hyper tanky in a shard. If you're gonna go Soul Ring and Treads, you need a sustain item. You need Seeds of Serenity, and you need the Ring of Health from Vanguard. Then you're gonna buy your shard. Don't skip the damn shard. This hero's terrible without it. I can't believe I see players, even with the Axe build, just skip it. It's like unbelievably broken. And then yeah, in team fights, you kind of just run in and you zone people out. Your next items are just going to be frontline items. Pipe, Crimson. I saw 33 go Bracer, Bracer, Echo with this exact concept. That was kind of cool too. It gives you a little bit of mana regen as well. So that's maybe an angle. As I said, the Blade Mail is a decent angle too. And so yeah, give it a shot, guys. I think frontline Bristle, skipping the Ags, skipping the Bloodstone is super legit. You just play around HP regen from aura items, and it makes you this absolute nasty frontline tank. All right, and finally, the most boring heroes on the list. I do put number 1. They have the highest win rates on Dota buff, so I do believe they are probably the most reliable for the average player, and that is Axe and Underlord. I'm putting 2 here because I think they're about the same in terms of power, but they do very different things. Axe, pretty standard. It's just Blink Blade Mail, and when people go bad items, you insta-kill them. The reality is people don't buy nearly as many defensive items as they should in average pubs, and Axe all of a sudden becomes one of the best heroes in the game. Also, honestly, I think this hero is underrated in pro games. I do believe it's pretty solid. It's a good laner. They did nerf it quite a bit. They nerfed the one-man army, but it's a good laner. It farms really fast. It farms Ancients, which is what you should do. I think Vanguard Axe is very good. I think Phase Boots Blink Blade Mail Axe is very good. So you can play it in 2 different ways, like a bit tankier and diving people with Vanguard, or just like flash farming a Blink Blade Mail, playing for your timing. Either is okay. And so yeah, Axe is super solid right now. Very good pub hero. I don't think it's as good as you get to the competitive levels, like competitive Dota levels, but it's super good in pubs. Then we have Underlord. It's kind of just the easiest aura hero to play right now. Simple as that. It tends to be even higher win rate, but they nerfed it a little bit recently. The reality is, it's even after its nerfs to the Fiend's Gate, it's still a very powerful hero. Easy to play, scales well, buys auras, connects to fights, doesn't have a necessary long cooldown for fighting. So yeah, it's just, if you are not an offlane player, I know for a fact a lot of you guys need your role queue tokens. You queue and you get offlane. I know this happens to you. Pick Underlord. It's the hero you should play. 100%. Easy, high impact, straightforward lane, straightforward items. You buy, bracers for the lane. You buy Mana Boots, Soul Ring. Then you go Pipe or Mech or Pipe. You go Atos first if your team needs catch. You pair it with your Pit. That build's really good. I really am a big fan of Atos into Pipe, into Crimson, into Greaves, you could buy Holy Locket, Shivas. Some people like the Ags a lot. I'm not a huge fan of the Ags. I think it's good late game. People will buy like second item, crunch. Buy a Pipe. Just buy a damn Pipe. You're way tankier. It's way better for your team. It's a better early game item for sure. Buying the Ags later when control becomes more valuable because your safe laner is dealing like 8 billion damage, then the Ags is better. But you don't need more control. If you want more control, buy an Atos. It's like way better early on. It's cheaper by a lot. Such a better idea. But all right, that's going to be all for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next one. And I'm out.
And that's all. But remember, before you leave, before you tune out, subscribe to the Game Leap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below. And I'm out. Peace.